Yo, I am sunburnt. How's it, O's? Welcome to volume 2 of O's Must Know. Before we begin, let me just give you a quick rundown of what we're going to be covering for you today. The top 10 most unhealthy things you can eat. Rain Bruno's definition of a selfie. Drinking. How much is too much? Does Hamish have liver failure or is it the self-tan? James eats a burry roll. So let's begin quickly with the top 10 worst foods thing. The concept of basically when one has had too much to drink, what do you think is the worst thing you could possibly eat right before going to bed? This is such a common experience, it's not even funny. It's happened to everybody and anyone. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That experience of being at the, Shell garage at 3 in the morning and standing in front of the pie counter and there's absolutely nothing left but the spinach and feta pie, and knowing in your right mind you would never normally eat it, you eat it and you love it, every single bite of it. So that got me thinking, let's cover the most unhealthy things you could possibly eat right before bed. At number 10, we have pizza, made most famous by places like Dizzy's. 9, we have pies. You can get them at any petrol station. 8, fried chips. Try it from Cadiz. You're going to regret it. 7, KFC, all the way down here because it's not as easy to find. 6, burry roll. Get that one from the guy in Long Street. 5, Clayton spaghetti a la king, which consists of 300 grams of spaghetti bolognese and 300 grams of pure cheddar cheese. A real heart clogger. Number 4, a classic, McDonald's. We've all done it. Number 3, Eric's Burry Extreme, which consists of a boerewors roll with chips, chocolate cake, fizzes, and anything else you can find on it. At number 2, a personal favorite, the fish finger extravaganza. At number 1, we have the most vile, the most horrendous food I have ever eaten just before bed or seen anyone eat ever. The chip char. I'm not going to tell you where you can get it because I will not be held morally responsible for your premature death. But should you happen to find it one day, it's a ciabatta roll with about half a kilogram of chips on it, literally drowning in mayo and chutney and whatever sauce you can think of. When eating it, it is said that you can actually feel your heart going, help! It's painful. What is a selfie? I mean, am I doing one right now? Rain believes that a selfie is when you can see the arm disappearing into a shot. Thus, you took it yourself. Generally, a lot of people like to do poses like this. Or in a club with, like 8 people behind them. I've done it once or twice myself. But when looking at Rain's pictures, it's interesting to ask how many of those do you think she took herself? So let's take a deeper look, shall we? Well, the Urban Dictionary describes it as a picture taken of yourself that is planned to be uploaded to Facebook, MySpace, or any other social networking website. You can usually see the person's arm holding out the camera, in which case you can clearly tell that that person does not have any friends. But Rain's got friends. As a matter of fact, a lot of Rain's friends are my friends. And I don't see a whole lot of arms disappearing into the shots. I don't want to talk about that anymore. Look how happy Fubby is and all his balls. Here's a topic that we really do need to cover. Drinking. How much is too much? Here's a little compilation of what I feel is, very definitively, the difference between drinking too much or just enough or far too much or hospitalized. So if we look here, you can see a good example of guys just having a good time, and this is getting a bit too much. Here's Steve Faulkner, far too much. And here's, regular, all having a good laugh, and a bit too much again. I think this one pretty much speaks for itself. I think you could say this is okay, not too hectic. And far, far, far Too much. Call an ambulance. And here's the classic. 3 guys, too much. As you can see, you really kind of got to be careful these days about what you put on Facebook because, as it's becoming quite apparent, employers are now checking possible employees' Facebook profiles to determine, whether or not they employ them and stuff. And I mean, those pictures all just come off my profile. So can you imagine what someone that's trying to employ me might think, about what I am or what I do when the lights go out? You got to be really careful, but I think what you can gather from that is that the word "no thanks, I've had enough" just doesn't seem to be in their vocabulary. So now on to Hamish, one of my oldest and most dear friends. Hamish van Wyk has been known to go into a toilet looking like he'd been living in C-Max cells in Polesmore for the past 8 years and come out of a toilet looking like he's been on the Caribbean or in Bora Bora for the past 6 months. No one exactly knows why or how much self-tan he is using, but it's quite funny because he's getting a bit orange as of late. In the Joburg sort of like, oh, it's all klap gym and gooit some spray tan boykie level, and it is becoming very funny. So we actually have to be very careful to determine whether or not, if his liver was failing, no one would know. He would just drop dead. No one would be able to tell. Take a look at some of these pictures and you kind of get my drift of where I'm going with this. But I'm pretty sure Hamish's self-tan budget every month exceeds my food budget. And I'm quite a big guy. I mean, if you see here, you can see he's a bit more orange than average. And, looking around, you can kind of get it. And yeah, he's got the whole flings look going on. And here he's definitely been rolling around in the Doritos. And you kind of get it. But now the last one's the best. Have you ever been so orange that the camera perceived the whole universe around you as orange? So as you can see, I think Hamish needs to just lay off the self-tan a little bit. Not because, we want you to be white and pale and near transparent. But because we're just worried about the fact that, if any form of liver problem had to develop, we wouldn't be able to tell. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure if he got a tattoo across his forehead, we wouldn't actually be able to tell at this point. Guys, I'm afraid that brings us to the end of this week's episode of O's Must Know. We hope you've enjoyed it. And other than that, I hope you have a great week. I'm Daniel de Villiers. Thanks for watching.